A victory for the Venezuelan opposition, not expected to lead to a change in relations with Dominica. A top health official calls for measures to be implemented to restrict entry of the Zika virus, and the film set in Dominica featuring a Kalinago could provide much-needed international exposure for the nature island. I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. The details coming up. First up, the relationship between Venezuela and Dominica will continue as normal in spite of the results of the recent parliamentary election there. Andrea Louis has this story.
On 6 December, Venezuela's opposition won control of the National Assembly. The opposition coalition won at least 99 seats in the incoming 167-seat legislature. This has changed the balance of power after almost 17 years of socialist rule.
Todos saben que nosotros perdimos la Asamblea Nacional.
As everybody knows, we lost the elections at the Parliamentary Assembly.
Tomó la mayoría en la Asamblea Nacional.
We recognize that the opposition took part of the majority at the the National Assembly. Always, everybody was saying that depending of the result, we didn't recognize, but that we just give election of democracy in Venezuela. What will happen in Venezuela, we just have to wait until next year.
Nicolas Maduro became president of Venezuela following the death of Hugo Chavez in March 2013. Despite the change in power at the parliamentary level, Venezuela's support for Dominica will continue.
Programas sociales que nosotros tenemos en el Caribe, lo vamos a seguir.
That all the social programs that we have in the Caribbean, we will continue. There is a difference between the presidential elections in Venezuela and here in Dominica. We elect our president directly. That's the difference comparing with Dominica, that the parliament decide the president. So definitely do not have any doubt in terms of the continuity of the social program, because that's a mandate from our Venezuelan president. Of course, they are coming with programs, but they will just try to avoid our new proposals.
The Venezuelan ambassador and other dignitaries attended a ceremony on Thursday to commemorate the 185th anniversary of the death of the liberator Simón Bolívar. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
In more top stories now, the Chief Environmental Health Officer is encouraging resources to be put in order to restrict any entry of the Zika virus.
As of earlier this month, the mosquito-borne disease has been circulating in more countries within the Americas, and the World Health Organization considers the Caribbean is under threat. The Aedes aegypti mosquito spreads the Zika virus, and according to Chief Environmental Health Officer Anthony Scotland, there is still a high population of that pest locally.
Our situation here is to, first of all, your surveillance system has to be on the bare balls. Your medical, your hospital, your clinics, your nurses, your doctors, they have to start looking at the issue of the virus and the complication that it can cause. And also the environmental, in terms of public health measures now. Public health measures at the port of entry. Public health measures now on the ground, and in terms of keeping the population of Aedes aegypti at a low level. So you have a household index of over 10, basically ranging between 10 and 12 nationally. Every 100 houses we inspect, at least 10 to 12 of them are fungal-breeding mosquito. And that mosquito is the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
There are consequences for pregnant women bitten by the Aedes aegypti mosquito carrying the virus.
For a pregnant woman, you could have congenital transition from mother to child for the cord, the umbilical cord. So that is why it is also a disease that is some of them have effects on newborns. So that's another way where that surveillance will be conducted by people at the medical areas, in terms of the neurological transmission among, say, newborns and malfunction among these newborn children.
Now to the manager of one of the charitable organizations here, who is appealing to people joining the workforce to pay their social security contributions. Lurian Graham Carter has more.
The Grotto Home for the Homeless was among 9 charitable organizations who received donations from the Dominica Social Security on Thursday. Social Security's donation to these organizations amounted to over $23,000.
If you are self-employed, pay up. The employers, when you take it from us, please bring it in. That's the only way that Social Security can continue to help the grotto and other persons. And mark you, we are getting older. Our population is getting older, so we are going to have more and more persons who are in need of help.
Donations also went to Center Where Adolescents Learn to Love and Serve, CALLS, Chances, Dominica Association of Persons with Disabilities, DAPD, the Dominica Infirmary, the Education Trust Fund, the House of Hope in Dalis, Maho Senior Citizens Home, the Northern District Home for the Aged, and the St. Jerome's Ministry. Chairman of the Dominica Social Security Board, Anthony Joseph, says through their yearly tradition, the DSS is already making a significant contribution to the socio-economic well-being of the nation.
We're ever mindful that as a good corporate citizen, we have, and may I hasten to say, we must actually demonstrate a social conscience. And herein lies the acknowledgement of our responsibility for tending to the needs of the less fortunate and the underprivileged among us. The beneficiary of the board's annual donation have been organizations, institutions, and causes which cater to the needs of persons who, in the past, would have made a contribution either directly to the growth of the Social Security itself and or towards national development.
The donations made to the charitable organizations are a small part of the over $100,000 allocated by the board for the year so far. For the year, $40,000 has been donated for the medical purposes and over $60,000 towards general contributions, including relief.
And come 2016, the National Cooperative Credit Union will be a 7-member strong institution. Here's more on that.
The Castle Bruce and the Southeast Credit Unions have agreed to become part of the NCCU family. The NCCU currently consists of 5 branches: Roseau, St. David, Viejas, La Salette, and St. Paul.
The law prescribes that in order to receive assets or liabilities of any credit union, the members have to agree at a special meeting, not on an annual general meeting, at a special meeting. So on Sunday we went to Viejas and we had that special meeting where we passed it overwhelmingly. In fact, the percentage was close to something like, in terms of positive, close to 85 or 90% in terms of positive. So the members do want the coming on board of the 2 credit unions, which is Castle Bruce Cooperative Credit Union and Southeastern Credit Union. So definitely you have both credit unions on board with us as part of the NCCU family. So we will be not the big 5, but the big 7.
DCRE says the coming together is beneficial for both the credit union and its members.
For instance, like paper, then we come together and buy at wholesale at special prices, so the savings are there. Before we used to have the family fund day, where each credit union have the family fund day. Now we do it together and we save an immense amount of money. For instance, if there's a conference in wherever let's say it's a Caribbean conference and you have managers have to go. If you're 5 credit unions, you have 5 managers to go, because in a 1 credit union you have 1 manager going. That kind of thing. So there's a lot of savings involved.
The credit union's membership is expected to grow from 35,000 to 40,000 members.
But one of the things we are doing this is to ensure that we reach as many people as possible in terms of selling the great products we have of NCCU to the rest of Dominica. We are very concerned as to how the credit unions operate, because if 1 credit union fails, it affects on the entire movement. In unity, the strength. And we want to ensure that we position the institution in such a way that, of course, like every economic situations are very cyclical. Today they're good, today they're bad. So we want to know the next round that comes, like for instance the CLICO issue, next round of event that comes like this, we are positioned, we're very strong to withstand it.
The NCCU was established on 1st November 2010.
Additional measures continue to be put in place to strengthen response to storm-related disasters.
Cabinet recently approved a comprehensive disaster management bill. It is hoped that when passed in Parliament, this will boost the country's ability to respond to disasters. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of National Security says the bill was worked on in partnership with the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, CIDEMA.
Tropical Storm Erica, of course, brought into sharp focus for us the need for appropriate legislation to address such events. And I must say that since Tropical Storm Erica, something very positive, that Cabinet has since approved the finalization of the Comprehensive Disaster Management Bill, which had been developed with assistance from CIDEMA, and that is an important policy document that we are going to go forward with.
Later was speaking at a meeting to assess the impact of Tropical Storm Erica on the health system, which ended on Thursday. He says there is need to improve decision-making in disaster management using available technology.
Going forward, we need to see how we develop capacity for improving our forecasting for rain events, for improving our early warning systems, which is an area that we are working assiduously on at the ODM. We also recognize the need for updating our EOC procedures and training of personnel who operate within the EOC. All these were areas that we looked at and thought needed some attention.
You're watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, the gardens being transformed into a Christmas wonderland. We'll show you what's going on, and later, the Vagrants Christmas party. A film set in Dominica featuring a Kalinago teenage boy has reportedly spiked the interest of Hollywood actor and film director Clint Eastwood. Here's more.
When German national Lara Sanders came to Dominica 13 years ago, she probably had no clue she would land a project which would give her international exposure. That project is a documentary called Celebration of Flight, about the real-life dream of retired Swedish pilot Daniel Rundström to build a plane with the assistance of 16-year-old rain star Luke of Kalinago descent. The film is mainly set in Cochrane and has been broadcasted on over 20 European television stations. It premiered at the Alliance Française Wednesday night, where Sanders and Rundström were awarded for their work in the film.
I came here 13 years ago. I met Daniel on the road, Daniel Rundström, an amazing guy who was telling me, oh, I have a secret in my garage, do you want to see it? And I don't know if everybody goes in a garage with a man, but I did. And he showed me a skeleton of an airplane, and he was constructing this time, and he said, yeah, let's make a movie out of it. And I thought it's make a movie, like 5 minutes movie, but it took us 3.5 years to construct an airplane and to make this movie happen. This is the big moment to come here back and show the movie.
The television production has won Best Foreign Film in Utah, Best Feature Documentary Festival in Texas, and an award for Best Documentary and Young Audience at an international film festival in Dijon.
I have a very big moment now facing Clint Eastwood is reading my script in the moment. He said he loves this documentary, the Celebration of Flight documentary, which is premiered today. He said, let's do a feature film, write a script, and maybe we can work on it. So I'm very excited. He could play the role of Daniel. He could even produce it. Before I did this movie, I was working as a TV producer and as a presenter for TV. Very normal job, very wonderful job. I worked for the WDR and for the Bavaria Film Studios, which are in Munich, Germany. The message of our movie for me is to say, everybody, never give up, you will make it, do your job and believe in yourself.
Today, rain star Luke is in Washington, working to achieve his goal to become a qualified pilot instructor, while Daniel Rundström continues to enjoy life on island at his Meru home.
I was looking for somebody to help me, and then Christine Luke, she had adopted Rainstar, and he was interesting, so I took him for some flights, and then he helped me. I helped him, of course, a little bit in the beginning, so he was able to get his pilot license. He's a pilot now.
The purchase of an emergency helicopter for Dominica is among plans for a local organization. Power of 8 is a network marketing advisory membership company which does marketing for various local businesses. This local business aims to help in Dominica's recovery effort through its Project RAE, Rebuilding, Assisting, Empowering.
Project RAE, R-A-E, R stands for Rebuilding, where we plan to rebuild homes for 10 displaced families in South America. A, we're going to be assisting different manufacturers and local farmers in raising their productivity levels with advanced machinery. And lastly, E, we are planning on empowering Dominica for future disaster preparedness with our very own emergency helicopter. And the way that we plan on doing it is we're going on an island-wide campaign where we're going to be seeking 5,000 pledges, 5,000 Dominicans in the diaspora, locally at home. And we're looking for these pledges to pledge either $10 a week, $25 a fortnight, or $55 a month. Or if you don't want to do the installment pledging, it's $880 for a full payment because the pledging stretches over a period of 16 months. Pendeng says Project RAE is a sign of Dominicans working together to help rebuild the country. Several entities have come on board thus far to assist in this venture. We're hoping to make about $4 million through the pledges. In 16 months of pledges. And it might sound impossible, but if you actually do the math, that's the numbers that we came up with. So far, we have around 25 pledges. Yes, we actually have a good feedback. We're getting more ministries on board. We're getting more people in the public sector on board. And it's actually been a very good response so far. We're giving the money to the ministry. So we're raising the funds, and then we're giving the money in an agreement signed towards the 10 homes. And we want to build for the families who need it the most. So we're going to be donating the helicopter towards the fire department and emergency department. The Power of 8 has been in existence for just over a year. Project RAE was launched shortly after the passage of Tropical Storm Erica. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News. In other news now, Kyrie FM is bringing Christmas cheer to children of all ages and holiday lovers in a big way this time around. Louis and Graham Carter met with organizers during the final preparations, and here's what you can look out for.
So we're here at the Botanical Gardens with Sharon Later, who is the marketing manager of Kyrie FM, and they are launching their Christmas, Nature Island Christmas Wonderland from Thursday to Saturday. Sharon, tell us what we can expect here from Thursday to Saturday.
Well, Lorianne, I can tell you that you are in for 3 days of fun, excitement, family, clean family fun from midday up till 7 p.m. on Thursday and Friday. And on the Saturday, we actually got the clearance to extend up till 9 p.m. Entertainment, live performances, celebrities from Disneyland, games, food, black pudding. It's just going to be extremely entertaining for the baby to the granny, and we are just encouraging everyone to come on. The whole idea of this event is to create some cheer for Dominican families and even non-Dominican families, just to come and as one people to have a good time and enjoy the Christmas spirit. The gardens, we stayed hard last night just transforming the gardens, lighting up the trees and creating some type of spectacle that the children can appreciate.
Well, by the time you see this newscast, the first night would have been over, but you can still come on Friday and Saturday at 12 p.m. as Sharon said. And as I see around me, they're still doing their final preparations, but I see a bouncy castle, I see a Santa seat. So for all those who want to come and experience some Christmas cheer, you can come right here.
Santa is going to be giving free toys every day to we're catering to at least 500 children a day to get a toy. You know, so we could not have done it alone. Kyrie FM Gator Sounds, we are so grateful for all. I mean, I don't think you have enough time for me to go through the list of partners and supporters that we have, but we just want to say thank you. It's an annual event, so we look forward to seeing you again next year.
I cannot wait for tonight to see the lights at the Botanical Gardens. So people, join us here at the Botanical Gardens from Thursday to Saturday.
And come all 3 days.
I am Lorianne Graham Carter reporting for Channel 5 News.
And you could say it's about time. Vagrants around Roseau enjoyed a Christmas party at People's Park on Wednesday. Here's more on that.
The party was hosted by Felix Henderson with assistance from an overseas donor. The Creole radio personality says the idea was born a few years ago when he produced a program Under the Stars and Sky.
When I went out as a beggar, as a vagrant in the city to actually try to understand and, to get into the lives of the vagrant, the problems that they face on a daily basis. And I had that experience, and I must tell you, there were times when I almost got killed, but thank God he protected me. And so I have a heart for the vagrants and for people who are less fortunate because of my own experience, not just acting as one, but because of my experience as a teenager growing up in Grand Bay.
Felix Henderson says after the program aired on DBS, a listener in Canada shipped a barrel which was distributed to the vagrants around the city last year. This year, the same donor provided $1,000 for the vagrants.
What we need, and as Pastor was saying a while ago, is that the heart of our nation will be touched, that people will realize that vagrants are people too, that they have a mother, they have a father, that they are Dominicans just like us. And God has called us to care for them. We owe people only love. The Bible says, owe no man anything but love. And it's not our responsibility to judge them, whatever happened to them, what caused them to be in that situation, what they did to society, what they did to their family. Our only responsibility is to show them some love.
Our friends on the streets were treated with food and musical entertainment.
And that's news. Kenny Williams is next with your sports highlights.
Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. We kick off with football. There was some excitement at Sportsville as the finals of the secondary schools 13 and under match kicked off Thursday between St. Mary's Academy and Goodwill Secondary School. The scores at the end of the match: St. Mary's Academy 3 and Goodwill Secondary 1. Odell Laville scored 2 for the winning team and Thurs17thDec2k 1. The Jefferson Tousse scored the lone goal for Goodwill.
Boy, I'm so happy because for the past 6 years we have been coming out second all the time in different categories. So I'm very, very happy today.
Well, I now look at the, let's say, losing as anything too bad, because I recognize the players of SMA, they're all 13-year-olds. It's a 13 and under competition. Our players, they're all under 13, clearly. So next year I see as an opportunity for the players to come and win.
Still in football, there were wins for RC Doctors and Itassi United in Wednesday's edition of the DFA Division 1 League. RC Doctors defeated East Central 2-0 at the Pore playing field. After a goal-less first half, RC Doctors went up 1 through an own goal, compliments an East Central player. Minutes later, Kirby Pascal scored to steal the victory for Doctors. Meantime, at the Dublin playing field, Itassi United edged out Exodus Young Boys 2-1. Brian LeBlanc and Mendel Skerritt scored for Itassi, with Ishmael Stout scoring for Exodus Young Boys. Meantime, in Division 1 football, carded for Friday.
On Friday, Waukee Rollers will take on MV Maxano Bombers at the Benjamin Park, while at the Newtown playing field it will be Harlem United versus Dasper Porters. Both matches begin at 5 p.m.
In some more football, speaking at a presentation ceremony Wednesday, manager of Nemesis Football Club, Kelvin Francois, says the Division 1 league has been slow for his team, with a few athletes suffering from injuries.
It has been a sort of a slow start. We just have 5 points from 3 games. And the team is just starting to come together right now. We have been plagued with some injuries, and we have some players who are absent, some of our key players, so that has been a strain for us.
The team hopes to up their game for the season and enter the Premier League in 3 years. Francois says it is his desire to add footballers from surrounding communities to the team in order to improve its strength.
We're hoping that we can establish a formidable force. We're thankful for the assistance we have received from the National Credit Union that will help us. And my objective is within the next 3 years for us to move to the Premier Division. One of our objectives is to have something set up in the area that will take on board all the other communities within close proximity to Tibu, so we can have something similar to what Southeast did a few years ago. And in that respect, it will be something that will be of a greater force.
The team received a donation from the National Cooperative Credit Union on Wednesday.
It is going to make us look better on the field, Yeah, we've got a full set of uniforms. We're thankful for that. We're hoping that we can develop a partnership with the NCCU that will help us in other aspects of the game itself. And even in terms of representing the sponsor, we're looking forward to doing that both on and off the field in how we carry ourselves as a club.
In cricket, the Dominica Cricket Association will host a prize-giving ceremony to award top cricket performers locally. Mervyn Paul has details.
The Dominica Cricket Association also wishes to remind our teams and clubs of its prize-giving ceremony to take place at Fort Young Hotel from 6:30 on the 18th of December. That is Friday the 18th, 6:30 p.m. Again, all teams and clubs are asked to attend as the Dominica Cricket Association continues to recognize top performers in the last season.
He also encourages all clubs to meet the registration deadline.
The Dominica Cricket Association also wishes to advise all teams and clubs that the registration closes on Friday the 18th at 4 o'clock. Teams and clubs are asked to collect registration forms at the Dominica Cricket Association's office at the Windsor Park Stadium and to pay all registration fees so as to ensure a smooth running of the 2015-2016 cricket season. Please bear in mind that no registrations, absolutely no registrations will be accepted from any teams and clubs after Friday the 18th of December.
And finally, President of Dominica Amateur Athletics Association Cedric Harris says the certification program, which started on Saturday, has been going well and he is pleased with the involvement of sports officers. Harris says the involvement of sports officers in the program who are affiliated with the Ministry of Sports make it possible to better develop sports at the primary school level.
The good thing about this course is what I look around and I see, we have a number of sports officers, that's sports officers attached to the Ministry of Sports involved in there, and that is in itself is a positive. Because as the association, we are responsible for developing the sport of athletics. But firsthand, we have the sports officers who are assigned to districts and they are assigned to different school districts and where. So they have firsthand, touch, you would say, to the primary schools.
The involvement of those officers in the training sessions could mean improvement in sports.
Having the sports officers involved, I think it's a plus, which means when they go back, they can utilize that program, that training, to the primary schools that they are attached with, which will, wholesomely bring the sport of athletics up.
The certification program is expected to end on December 22. That's all the time we have for sports. I am Kenny Williams. Join us again tomorrow.
Your weather report is coming up next.
Good evening. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. Earlier, infrared satellite imagery showed a few low-level clouds across the islands of the Lesser Antilles with some multi-layered clouds to the west of the southern portion of the island chain. Meanwhile, visible satellite imagery showed just a few low-level clouds mainly across the southeast portion of Dominica today. Radar imagery indicated some scattered showers mainly across the southern portion of the island chain. Tonight's weather is expected to be fair to partly cloudy with a few scattered showers, and for tomorrow, partly cloudy skies with some scattered showers can be expected. Sea conditions are expected to be moderate in open water with waves peaking near 7 feet. A small craft advisory is in effect for above normal sea swells. For the next 3 days, low-level clouds moving with the wind flow will result in occasional cloudy skies and scattered showers. For the remainder of the Caribbean tomorrow, partly cloudy skies with some scattered showers are expected mainly across the southern portion of the island chain. For the international cities forecast, partly cloudy skies in New York, some showers in Miami, overcast skies in London, clear skies in Caracas, and mostly cloudy skies in Beijing. The sun will rise tomorrow at 6:26 a.m. and set at 5:39 p.m. For additional information, feel free to contact us at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Thank you for viewing and have a good night.
To end the news, the headlines again: a victory for the Venezuelan opposition, not expected to lead to a change in relations with Dominica. A top health official calls for measures to be implemented to restrict entry of the Zika virus. And a film set in Dominica featuring a Kalinago could provide much needed international exposure for the nature island. Email us at news@mapping2k4.com. You can also access our newscast on our YouTube page. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thanks for watching. Join us tomorrow.